Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gunthrek Chats. Today, I want to talk about Johnny Somali. Apparently, he's getting his. I don't know this guy at all. I hadn't never heard of him until I started seeing all of his drama start floating up on YouTube. I watched several different content creators, most notably like Asmongold and stuff like that. And he talks about, he was talking about him a lot, but there's other channels where this particular guy has been popping up. And apparently he's been going around to other people's countries and harassing the citizens there by doing these ridiculous things. Chasing content, chasing shot content, chasing the kind of content that gets people to go, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. And while you as a viewer might find that amusing, the people who have to put up with that crap really do not. Now, I think that there's a massive difference between, the different kinds of content out there that is meant to interact with people. One of my favorite things to watch are like these Bushman videos where people dress up in these bush outfits and then go booga 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 kind of things. And, the people have a, oh my God, and then they laugh because, it's kind of funny. And as long as the people participating generally tend to have it's a nice laugh, and it's a nice little bit of a shock and a scare and a laugh, and then they walk on and they have a day and they have a nice little story. Oh, I got scared by the Bushman. That's a very different thing from walking up to people with an attitude and harassing them and getting in their face, being aggressive towards them, saying outlandish things towards them with the intent of being offensive, right? So a lot of times it's very hard to understand where the line is between what is acceptable behavior and what is not. And unfortunately, we as Americans, I don't want to say unfortunately, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me say that we as Americans have this idea about free speech, about how it should never be infringed, about how we should be able to say what we think, say what we feel, speak our opinions, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, even here in the United States, we have some pretty firm limits on what is acceptable from even just a legal standpoint, what you are and are not allowed to say. We believe that that should be as wide as possible, but at the same time, there are certain things where if your speech is seriously negatively affecting individual people, we don't tolerate that. Just as most places in the world don't either. If your actions are seriously negatively affecting specific people, you're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to stand in the square and, voice your disagreement and protest and all of this other stuff. But once you start negatively affecting specific people, now you're crossing the lines now you're crossing lines that we don't think are okay. So Johnny Somali goes into these places and starts doing these stupid things, throwing food at people, getting in people's faces and saying these horrible things to them, going to Japan and talking about how they're going to bomb them again, how we're going to bomb them again. And I don't know how he ever thought that was ever going to be okay, how he was going to get away with that forever. That was never going to happen. And finally, he gets to Korea. They nab him and charge him with a bunch of stuff. He now has a bunch of charges against him that he pled guilty to, and then they slam some more on him because the judge changed out. There's a bunch of different stuff that's going on. I'm not necessarily following the case specifically, but the moral of that particular story is you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes. And the prize that he's going to win for going into other people's country and treating them like dirt just because he wanted to farm views on YouTube is he's going to go to jail for a while, at least I hope. But the biggest thing that people need to understand, like if you're ever confused as to how you should be behaving in society, is you need to understand the idea that your rights end where my rights begin. Now, we may disagree on where the line for what a person's rights are. Various countries have various ideas on where that line is. We here in the United States have a pretty liberal line as to what we think our rights should be. We've lined them out in the Constitution to say this is what your rights are, and then anything outside of that, too bad, so sad. Other places in the world try to have a much broader list of things like medical care and all these other things that European countries and other countries around the world, Canada and all that stuff, they have different ideas of what they think that human rights should be. And when you go there, then that's what the rule's going to be. We can disagree as to where the line is, but I think most people would agree with the idea that, once we have established what my rights are, and once we've established what an individual person's rights are, then anything else that isn't defined by that is fine until those activities are starting to infringe on my rights as a person. And I'm a big fan of the idea of the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I've struggled to be, religious or anything like that, But the Christian ideology of treat people as you want to be treated is a pretty good way to go through life, I think. And I can't imagine that Johnny Somali ever wants people to go in and treat him the way that he's treated other people. Kind of funny how that works. So he's hopefully going to go away for a while. He needs some time to think and reflect and, you know, hopefully to learn from his mistakes, but it doesn't sound like he's going to do that because he's apparently in a bunch of denial right now. But whatever, you do what you do, and there are consequences to your actions, and you either learn from them or you don't. And if you don't, then you're doomed to repeat your mistakes, and then he's going to go to jail again. But the last moral and kind of the most important reason why I'm making this specific video, the reason I felt the need to make a video, is that I want to advise my fellow Americans to take care when traveling abroad. Our government is doing things right now that is kind of angering the rest of the world even more than they normally are. Americans for a very long time, because of our attitude towards our own country versus the rest of the world and how we think about our place in the world, generally tends to have a pretty negative view from the viewpoint of other countries around us, partially because they're jealous of our success, yes, but also because we feel a sense of exceptionalism in the world that we carry with us wherever we go. Whether that's justified or not, that's an argument that you can have. We do it and they see it, so it is what it is. I personally think it's justified, but I'm an American and obviously I'm biased. The point I'm trying to make is that in general, we've been able to travel abroad relatively carefree because, you know, our military is very strong, and if anybody messes with our citizens, we're going to come in and mess with you, and blah, 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 blah. Well, we're kind of pulling back out of the world, and our government is doing things that is making various people, various countries and organizations around the world pretty upset with us. So just have a care when you're traveling outside of the United States, especially to countries that don't necessarily like us very much, because you, as an American, are having a much bigger target painted on your back, not only because of what our government is doing, but because of jackasses like Johnny Somali running around and doing things the way that they've been doing. You know, he gives the rest of us a bad name. He makes our image worse, in addition to just the other things that are happening. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I saw a thumbnail for another Johnny Somali video, and it just inspired me to sit down and do another video for the channel. So, as I said, I don't know that I'm necessarily going to make a video every day. I want to make videos when I'm inspired to make a video, because then I'll be excited to actually sit down and talk about it, and you'll get something out of it, hopefully. So, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Then head over to my gaming channel and check out and see if you like any content over there. We're currently trying to reach 10,000 subscribers over there. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check out both channels for updates for new videos, and I'll see you for the next one.